here just to tell you a little bit about the brick, a little bit about sort of what our working environments consist of, and again, a little bit of what we do to make our spaces and processes a little bit more inclusive. And then to maybe talk a little bit about, depending on how the question and answer goes, about how we can get better at that. And again, the ways that we're trying to go forward. So the brick's been around since 1971. It's started here where I am in Edmonton and progressed into BC a few years later. We are 100% Canadian owned and operated, and it's a privilege to do so. Pretty much in every major city, there's a brick, and a lot of our satellite stores touch a lot of communities. So our opportunities literally are widespread. So we've got stores just about everywhere. And so that's something that really allows us to get in contact with a ton of different people. So we in BC, we break down our work environments into two different areas. We have distribution, which is out of our distribution center. We have one of those, it's in Delta, BC. And then we have all of our retail locations. There are 26 of them. I'm not going to list all 26 just for the sake thereof. If you want more information on all the locations, you can go to either our career site or our thebrick.com retail site. So what do we offer in the way of careers? We offer, again, 126 jobs, different types of jobs. Most of those are available in BC. At any given time, again, we have a career site that shows what's available in what city or town. And you can go on there anytime and have a look at some really detailed job descriptions, but I'm going to go through them a little bit more quickly so as not to, read 3-page documents for everyone. So we'll start with our distribution center. That's probably the place where we have the most physically active jobs. So to start with there, we have got material handling. That's items off the truck and on the truck and off the truck and on the truck. Your days there go by super quick because you're kept super busy. And again, really great for a person who likes to keep active and really likes their day to pass by quick. It's also a great place for people who like to work in smaller groups. Though there's the most people in those buildings, they do work in smaller groups of about 5 or 6. Or if you're talking about our delivery teams, only teams of 2 or 3. So again, if you like to have that physical environment and that job that's going to keep you busy all the time, then that's a great way to, that's a great place to start. Also, as I just alluded to, also in our distribution centers, we've got people who do in-home delivery. So to drive a truck, you do need to have your license to drive a 510 vehicle, but for swampers, you do not require one for those. So it's a great opportunity. Again, if you like engaging with customers or you like talking to different people, again, really physical job. You're out and about all day, all year round, and you get to talk to different people as you bring them the things that they've ordered. Also in our distribution center, we have things like furniture repair. So again, if you're good with your hands and you like to fix things, we have an entire section that's dedicated to fixing the things that we sell. And so we're able to welcome people, again, who like to work with tools, who have a great ambition to be able to, again, help those people that you might never meet, but still help fix and bring their product back to the way it should be working. Out in our retail land, we have, again, different jobs within our stores. So the stores in general, really communal places, lots of customers, lots of team members interacting. So it's a lot, again, as opposed to the distribution center where you'd be talking to, a smaller amount of people in a day. In a retail location, you're talking to everybody in a day. So again, if you like talking with people, it's definitely a great place to get that social sort of need. Even in these times of COVID, we find that we're sort of engaging safely, but we're still able to help our team members and our customers as we normally would, which is really great. Within our stores, we break it down into 3 major groups for our jobs. One is customer service. This is mostly behind a counter. Day in life of looks like taking cash, answering the phones, answering questions, problem solving. even a little bit of reporting. So, items come in and contacting the customers to say that their products are in, maybe arranging a delivery. Again, when you're answering those phones, some people are wondering why, where are my things? So you can look those up. So it's really that front line of helping customers and answering their questions. Another really important role in our retail is merchandising. So this would probably be as physical as a job that is in our warehouse. So you're putting together furniture, you're setting up how, our show floor to look like homes. You're helping customers put their product into their car, some smaller box items. You're really, really engaging again with customers, with the sales team, with the management team. You're doing things like inventory counting on a scanner. So every morning, you'll open your day and, today is TV day. So you'll go and you'll scan all the TVs to make sure that the inventory is still there from the night before. To make sure no TVs got legs and walked away. And so that's a really good, again, a job that if you want to be kept busy all the time, the tasks there are pretty varied. Again, so your day is going to be different every day with, some days you'll be doing pickups, some days you'll be unloading a truck, some days you'll be building furniture. But again, all really physical and busy all day long. So your shifts go by super quick. Also in the retail landscape, we have sales. That's for the people like me who just like to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. If you're a good problem solver, again, you're helping those customers who come in and want to help people, basically fix the issues that they have. It could be happy issues like just having a baby and they need a new crib, or it could be something a little bit more dire, like they had a flood and now they've got to replace some things that were damaged. It's our job in the sales field to really help them make their house a home and get them those pieces that will make it more comfortable for them. And so that's really what salespeople are all about. Now, we really try to make sure that all of these positions that I've just mentioned have a fair amount of flexibility in them. So because we're retail, we're open from morning till night, and those shifts can fall in any time in between those. So if you're looking for full-time, great, you're gonna get those 8 hours a day. They can fall pretty much in anytime that we're open. And again, if you need that part-time or you need a little bit more flexibility, we offer that in the part-time program where, if you can only do mornings or you can only do afternoons or weekends are your jam, then we just work with the people who apply with us to make sure that they get a schedule that works for them. Again, if you're on part-time and you want to go to full-time, all our full-time positions are offered to our part-time first. So a lot of people find their careers sort of start out that way. They're just, just wading in the water a little bit and getting comfortable with who the brick is and what the job is, and then growing from there. One thing that we're super, super proud of in our industry, in our business, is that 90% of our manager positions are filled internally. Training to us is so, so very important. We're the only people in Canada outside of our parent company who use our internal system, so training really does have to come naturally. I think the way we sort of got down to the root of that is when 2 years ago we went to our hiring managers, and we used to have long job descriptions, so long, and they were so awful to read. And we said, listen, guys, what are we really looking for here? And we made them pick 3. We limited them to 3. What are 3 things you absolutely need? And for us, it came down to everyone chose attitude. Can't teach people to be decent human beings. You can't. It's impossible. We need those decent human beings up front. And then the ability to adapt and to learn. And so then with those 2 coming to the forefront, we really sort of took a look at our job descriptions and went, we can teach just about anything else. And we've noticed that when we've hired people, again, pre-COVID, a lot of people came into our stores. That's how we found most of the people who work for us, is they just wandered right in. But now with COVID, we're finding that we're able to almost interact with more people because the ways we're able to contact them have expanded. The technology is a little bit better than I'd say even 2 years ago. And, again, it's been a challenge for us in a good way, because we've now opened it up and just said, listen, if we're going to hire good people, how can we do that with the least amount of barriers? So things that came out of that are, of course, we have always, and we will still always, now with masks and no handshakes, hire from the pool that comes into the store. Really important for us to hire to reflect the communities we serve. And the best way to do that is to just open your doors and let everyone walk in. I think another way that we've tried it is we went back to our job descriptions, and we've started removing things like even I think the most recent one that we're still in the process of removing is the requirement for grade 12 or a high school diploma, because that doesn't always happen for everybody. And really, when you look at our systems, it's not really necessary. It's something that I think we put in more as an age indicator. Like for sales, we do need you to be 18 years old. And for a driver, we absolutely need you to have a license to drive a truck. But outside of that, it's just addressing what we truly need and making a short list of skills rather than describing, person, which after you start making a list long enough, you're disqualifying everybody. So we really tighten those up. Our whole job descriptions are now only a page long, which is still a little long if you ask me, but we're working on it. And we want to make sure that there is a way that, again, you could communicate or you could apply and not feel that you were restricted because of something that's really not that necessary for us. Also, even been attending in light of COVID, a lot of things have moved online. So I'm out in Edmonton, and I rarely, if ever, got the privilege of reaching out to everyone in BC. We do have somebody in BC who helps me out, but this sort of interaction gives us a chance to meet people. And again, in a way that maybe would be the same as them coming on into a store, like the job fair tomorrow, we can talk to people, we can see them, we can chat. And it's really exciting for us to be able to be a whole lot of places that we couldn't be before everything moved online, because it would be hard to hop on a plane and then stay a day. And but with online, here I am at my kitchen table and ready to talk to just about anybody who will listen to me. Another thing that we've done is, we've really sort of, again, expanded the ways in which people can apply, in that we are one of the few companies where, yes, you can apply online, still human beings behind that system though. So we also offer, again, access by email. We work with a lot of community agencies too, and Mentorability, and just anybody who's out and working with job seekers. We like to make friends. Really, the company line that we toe is that if you're not making friends, you're not really doing your job in recruitment. I love that because I get to meet all sorts of people. And, it's only when you get to really get up close and personal with people and talk and have great conversations, you find out what really drives them and what they're really good at and passionate about. Because at the end of the day, no one wants a job that they hate, and no one wants to be miserable at work. You spend way too many hours to try to, to be miserable. So there's that give and take there where, you as a potential team member, I think you should be jazzed about whether it's our industry like retail or hospitality or whatever it is industry that you're looking at. You should be jazzed about it. You should have some interest in it, even if you maybe don't have all the knowledge in the world. You should have a genuine interest in it, and you'll enjoy it a lot more. I think too that going back to sort of the technology and the way we've used it to sort of help us be more inclusive in our interviewing is that, again, interviews used to be standard. Like, you came into a building, you sat in front of a desk, we had a conversation. There might not have been a way to even say, communicate if you needed an accommodation short of that first time you're being asked to the interview. So we've we've made ways on our applicant tracking system to contact us if you do need accommodations. Again, our interviews can be on the phone, it can be by Zoom, by Google Meets, Teams. We're really flexible now in the technology that we use. And that enables us, again, to be more places and meet more people with more efficiency. So we're finding that we're engaging with a ton of more people who really are interested about who we are and what we do. And that really gives everybody, again, a great opportunity to, again, talk to somebody up front where, maybe you wouldn't make it into a store naturally, but now there's a way to reach out and actually find information out about our company. I think too that with the way we've been communicating and the way we've been working with people out in the community, it makes us more comfortable and more aware of the accommodations that might come through the door. Like I think even 2 or 3 years ago, for us, it was maybe not normal for somebody to come in with a support to an interview. Now it's a checkbox on our regular interview sheet. Is this person coming in with the support, or are they coming in on their own, so we can be prepared for who we're receiving in the building? So it's little steps like that that I think we've really grown as a company and have really helped us, again, engage with a whole new slew of talent, and really sort of jazzes us up and gets us talking to, again, different people, because we know that, again, our stores should reflect the way, our communities work and live and look like. So it's been really rewarding for us. I think one of the advantages of retail is that accommodations to us, not really a huge deal because we are customer facing. Naturally, our buildings have to welcome in, again, those people who are coming in. Being open to that and having a humility to how we can be better really has led to some really cool changes. I know that in all the way up to our planning, the people who lay out everything in our store, there's a rule of accessibility so that anybody with any aids to mobility can see and sit on every product in our store. So right from the beginning, the design phases of where sofas are placed and where beds are placed and where lamps and rugs are placed, we have a concept of accessibility within our stores. When you have that for your customers, it's really super easy to, have that transition over into your teams. So I think everything we've done, especially over the past 5 years, where we've really focused on making, our buildings super accessible for our team members and promoting what helps everybody perform at their best, really just sort of came from, if we're going to do it for customers, of course we should do it for our teams. Things like varying levels of counter spaces, different location of desks, different types of desks, stand up, sit down. Again, the location of desks on the sales floor, to make sure that we can not only help everybody who comes into the store, but any team member who comes on the team can do their job properly. So I think when you sort of frame it the way that, you're just trying to get the best for your customer and, make the workplace the best for your team members so that they can work at their peak efficiency, everything else just comes naturally, and it doesn't seem daunting at that point. I think as an employer, maybe that's something that I talk to my peers, and we can't get over ourselves thinking it's maybe difficult sometimes, but I'm very proud to work for a place where it is a day in the life of, if it's going to help us, our customers, or team members, then there's a reason to do it. A lot of our experience over the past few years has really improved even our onboarding and our training. So we are, again, as I said, very heavily based in our training. We have to train our systems, we train around the products, we train around our procedures. We, even after you're on board, we have access to, external learning. And I am not joking, basket weaving. We have a how to do art on some of our external learning platforms, all to help people to feel that they're progressing personally and professionally. A little bit of a story about how we came to have our onboarding fully closed captioned. So we've always subtitled things because most of our production is in English, but because we have a bunch of stores in Quebec, we always subtitled things in French, where we didn't have a French team member who could, get up and speak in French for that team. So we already had the technology in place, and it was like a bright, shiny light bulb moment for us. We had a technical difficulty where a lot of our internal systems came down for about 4 days. And for a national company, that was horrible. Everybody cried. It was very bad. But here we are in Edmonton, and in our warehouse, we had some people who were already using the WhatsApp for communicating. So we had a couple of fellows in the warehouse who opted to turn their hearing aids off because it was not a good mix with the loudness of the machinery and the echo of the big, vast warehouse. but we still needed to keep in contact with these gentlemen. And so their app of choice was WhatsApp. When we all went down, I kid you not, an entire country went on WhatsApp. So, using something that we had just used for, a little piece of communication within a warehouse, went national very easily. And it was these two gentlemen who we actually had a conversation with, and they were we joked that they were the least affected by what had happened because it was so natural for them to just use this app as a method of communication. And then we had them look at our learning, and we were like, if there's a simple thing in front of us, why don't we just, try to use it to make it better? So from that event, we had them look over our learning, and now all of our onboarding materials also have closed captioning and subtitles. They're also downloadable. You can read them. So we've added all of those pieces to try to make our onboarding as barrier-free as possible, included, again, where we can in person, presentations of it as well, depending on what suits the group. So it's funny that, something we regularly used for just a couple of guys in a warehouse, all of a sudden became a national, oh my goodness, this is a solution to all of our problems. And then really helped us make, things that we already had better and more accessible. And I think that's one thing that I love about the company that I work for. We have 4 core values. They are excellence, innovation, attitude, and teamwork. Sorry. And that innovation piece really puts us at a position where, we have the humility to say, we're not always going to get it right, but we will absolutely be open to getting it right. So I think it's everything from, when we're asking what works best for people in an interview, all the way to team members who have already come on. I remember as an operations manager being, had a finger wagged at me because I had put a rug rack in a way that a gentleman who was a salesperson of ours could only get his wheelchair around 3 of the 4 sides. It's amazing what 6 inches will do, and moving that giant metal rug rack where we have a whole bunch of rugs standing up to see all the way around it. I mean, it wasn't a big deal for me to walk over and move it 6 inches, but it was extremely important for that team member and our clients that they could see all the products we had available. And it's being open to those sort of things and open to, again, knowing what skills we're looking for that enables us to make sure that we get the best team members, we get the best out of them, and they stay, which is probably the most fantastic. If we can help somebody find a home, that is fantastic. I have talked nonstop. We can pause for questions if you'd like.
Hello, Chantelle, it's Kwaku here from
Hi.
Inclusion BC and also from RWA. I know we've engaged, and thank you for the wonderful work that you're doing. I know this might be on people's mind how to apply for some of the jobs. Just so you know that the breaks have opened up with RWA and with Mentability, and now we have a lot of positions open up provincially in BC. So if anybody wants to apply for a job there, just go to the website, apply for the positions. For those of you that have my email, just send me an email with the candidate's name and resume, and I'll touch base with Laura, who is here in BC, and we'll take it from there. If you do not have my information, please go to Inclusion BC's website or even to Mentability's website, check in with Jill or myself, and we should be able to make a move. So thank you for being inclusive. It's a wonderful organization, and I'll tell you this, we're already excited with what we're doing so far. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, and on that note too, I noticed that Mentability is presenting at this event. Get in touch with your local Mentability team, because we definitely are open to having, again, casual discussions. As soon as it's a little safer, we can even have you into locations. We really love the conversations that come out of that program. So you can ask us questions about, the accommodations that we've made, that we can make. We can ask you if there's any accommodations that maybe we're not, we haven't done yet that you bring up. How do you see that working? So that's a really great way of us, again, connecting with people, just to find out like who's out there and what do they need and how can we, bridge a gap of that. And what skills do they have and how can we bring them home and, you know, make work a little bit like home. But yeah, to your point too, now, pardon me for looking away and reading off the screen. So our webpage, careers.thebrick.com, that is ever changing. Like I took this list an hour ago. There could be more. Again, we've given everybody till the end of the day because the job fair is tomorrow to get everything. But I mean, right now it's every position that I talked about, we have open in BC. Just to list off a few of our locations that are looking, we have West Vancouver, Salmon Arm, Prince George, Coquitlam, Pitt Meadows, Delta, Kelowna, Victoria, and Langley. So that's again just what was open this morning. Also, too, if you're on our website and you're looking at job descriptions and you're maybe you come across something that's interesting but you don't see in BC, or maybe you see something and you have a question about it. We open up our email, which is careers@thebrick.com. There are 4 real live human beings, so you're not sending it to just a bin. There are 4 live human beings who monitor that, and if even if you want to say, hey, here's my resume, where do you think, what do you see the skill match as being? We absolutely are open to that kind of conversation. If you're wondering, if you see a whole job and you're wondering if maybe parts of that job exist, we've done plenty of job carving in our time, and we can absolutely say, what's available in what stores and how we can sort of tweak things. And again, if you just have questions about the Brick or the jobs that we do offer, or again, if you have a set of skills and you're not seeing a job that maybe reflects those, feel free to send along your resume and we'll see if there's something that we have. I know corporate office right now won't start rehiring again, probably for about another month, just because of what's going on in Ontario. But there's even some of those that are remote positions. So like things like web designers and graphic designers. And I think everybody, again, if there's something that you see that's not in your area, we can at least give you feedback at if it is available, or if it's only available, like say in Edmonton. That's the only place where it really happens is Edmonton with our corporate office, because we've got, again, 400 people in a building where I traditionally would work out of. And so some positions are out of there. But again, the vast majority of jobs that we have are represented across BC. And we can help even hook you up maybe with managers where there aren't positions available, but you'd like to go in, take a look and see what the job is actually like. Again, these are all things that we can facilitate when you reach out to us, and we are more than okay with individuals reaching out to us personally. Any other questions?
Yes. So what kind of jobs do you guys have, or?
There's a lot of merchandising right now. When I took a look at that's about half our stores are looking at needing that merchandisers. So again, if you like hanging out with people, because it is a really social environment,
Yes.
if you're good with your hands and tools, things like screwdrivers, because you're going to have to be putting furniture together. So if that's something that you really enjoy, that's a good opportunity there.
Right.
Again, there's a little bit of reporting and inventory, but we teach you all of that. So again, it's more the interest and the passion that you have. Another really popular one is sales. Sales is something that is pretty universal, and a lot of people don't think about it. That's where I started my career, so it's close to my heart. Again, I love talking to people. It's my jam. So that's a great place to start. Also, if you're in our store and you look at the things we sell and you have sort of an affinity or an enjoyment of those, I know my sister, who graciously lets me use her as an example all the time, she is a gamer. And so for a while she was trying to find her place because she part of who she is that she doesn't really look people in the eye a lot. And she's missing a little bit of that social component when she does not have something to talk about. And so for her, unless it's purposeful, she doesn't really have much to say, which you really wouldn't think, hey, if you're a salesperson, you're kind of quiet. But she really found a niche because her gaming helped her sell the most expensive TVs for the most ridiculous reasons. It was fantastic. So I really enjoyed watching her really say, and I'm going to use a bunch of words I don't know what they even mean right now, but they came so beautifully out of her mouth, you know, why the 8K TVs are, you know, so compatible with the refresh rates on her Halo. And I'm like, that's fantastic. I don't know what you're talking about. But again, we look for those people who have that passion about what's in front of them, who like the new technology, who can show people how they can make it useful. I know there was a time where we used to ban cell phones from our show floor because, you know, they're going to be distracting and you're not going to take care of your customers. And then we started listening to our team members, and they had customers come in with, you know, with a need, maybe for closed captioning, maybe for, you know, the different ways to access the media, maybe for, again, a different way to experience something that we sold. And cell phones filled that gap. We were able to show them some of the features that could truly help them. Cell phone ban, totally gone. I think maybe it's the nature of communication or nature of who we, again, what our teams need to better help our customers. But again, we just evolved to what's really going to help everybody.
Are Swampert positions based just from the distribution center?
No, the delivery and offloading and onloading of the trucks, those are specifically out of Delta. Actually, sorry, delivery also occurs on Vancouver Island, and some of the stores that are satellite. So within the greater Vancouver area, you will find those warehouse jobs in the Delta warehouse. The further away that you get, you do get some of those positions in other locations like Salmon Arm. I know that there's a position available. It's labeled warehouse in Salmon Arm right now, but you're doing warehousing, you're doing merchandising, and you're helping on delivery trucks. So it's the smaller stores, you do a lot more. In the larger stores, your job gets more specific. So again, the further out you go, the more opportunity to learn more things at once. But again, with our culture being the way it is, if you come on board and, you know, say you're doing merchandising and all of a sudden you want to look at delivery, and you've got a license, then we do have mentoring programs where you can go spend a day on a truck to see what it's really like. We do a lot of internal transfers. I know, just reflecting on my own, being 21 years and 16 different jobs, I've done a ton of transferring. And that's really been not only things that have happened in my personal life, but also my interests. So combining those two things, again, I can speak to the company's flexibility for those people who are willing to work hard. You know, they're there to help you achieve goals. And that can look like so many different paths.
Hi, Chantelle. I'm Alex I'm a vocational counselor for youth. And I was just wondering, how flexible are you in modifying positions that you have in your stores?
So I would say the most easily modifiable position would be our merchandising, because we can be really targeted with the activities that we assign. So we find, especially on a part-time basis, like we can have people who really love and are talented at assembling furniture. So we would schedule those people on a truck day when we know we're going to get a ton of floor models in, and to their heart's content, they can build. And same goes for, you know, if they have that eye for art, we can have them in on a day when we're working on our core so they can help match like rugs and pictures and vases and candles. You know, those people who really have that flair for matching and design, that we can have them in when there's a day that's what we're doing that day. Customer service, to a certain extent, some of the bigger stores especially will have people who only call and schedule deliveries. Or again, in our really big stores like you have in Coquitlam, there is somebody who takes cash and takes care of the front counter. There is somebody who answers the phones. There is somebody who does, you know, who analyzes the reporting. So we can really, in those larger stores, train on a more specific task that's something more repetitive you would do in a day. Sales a little harder, although we can, you know, the show floor itself, we can welcome people with various abilities, but at the heart of it, you have to enjoy talking to people. and you have to be a problem solver. Granted, those are two, just about the two requirements, because again, we can train everything else. Bonuses are passions for what we sell. But those can be adjusted slightly as well within the warehouse. Again, there's different types of tasks. So, but those tasks are pretty specific. So there is an on the truck, off the truck, on the truck, off the truck material handling. There's somebody who operates a forklift. There's somebody who runs reports and just stands there with a scanner, making sure everything that's on the list is in the pile to be put on the truck. So again, being a bigger building, there are more specific tasks. There's somebody who goes around and we call it cycle counting, but effectively it's just inventory control. Somebody goes around scanning, you're given a list of TVs, now go find them and scan them. That person generally needs to be pretty okay with heights too, because like TVs are stacked 4 stories high. You're safe and we train you, but there is still that heights factor. But there are a varying amount of tasks in there, again, depending on the person applying and depending on the job. One thing that's really adaptable, we've got a recycling department, which is essential to our business. 96% of what we gather in waste actually never makes it to landfill. We have a bunch of different ways that we do that. So, but that department is almost infinitely carvable. There's just so much going on there, and the management really just welcome anybody who likes to be task oriented. So maybe you're breaking down boxes, maybe you're loading mattresses to be sent away to where you have them recycled. Maybe you're tossing styrofoam into our green, giant green machines that turns it into little pellets so they make things out of. So again, it just depends on, not everything is available right away, but there's very few people we haven't been able to say, hey, this is a spot where you could use your skills and what makes you comfortable in a work environment.
Chantelle, it seems like we just have a few more questions. One of the question is, do you have positions for greeters and light dusting in your store?
Sorry, greeters and?
Light dusting,
light dusting. So the light dusting is actually done by our sales staff. That's part of them keeping what we call our areas clean. And greeters are generally, in smaller stores, would consist of salespeople. In the bigger stores, occasionally we go to a greeting system on busier days or busier seasons. But by and large, our sales are who meet the people at the front door and ask them how they, if they need assistance with direction to a specific area of the store and whatnot.
What if people are shy and they're not good at talking to people? Do you have any jobs for them?
Yeah, I would say that's one area that if you're shy but you're still okay with a lot of people around, again, that merchandising role is great. It keeps you busy. You'll take instruction. You don't have to be the consummate extrovert. A lot of the jobs in our warehouse, because you're working with a smaller team and it's really task oriented, you can end up with again a really fulfilling day. You'll be kept busy, and generally speaking, again, it's a smaller, tight knit group. So if there might be people having conversations around you, but it's really task oriented, and you guys are going to work as a team to get the job done. So a lot in our warehouse again is a little bit easier for people who don't like a lot of human interaction and you're sort of seeing the same people every day.
I have a question. I just saw someone comment or ask a question. It's an interesting question. Are swamper positions based just from the distribution center?
In the greater Vancouver area, they are, but our, for instance, Salmon Arm, Vernon, anywhere on the island, those would have in-store delivery as well. But if you're looking in that heart of the greater Vancouver area, the deliveries do occur out of Delta.
What percentage of your staff is on PWD?
That's a very good question that we are actually just asking people to identify this year. One part of our journey is that, again, we know from just casual conversation and asking our our team members, do do you know that in your workplace that we accept, everybody, and that we'll make any accommodations? And we know from the amount of times that we've asked that we have, definitely have people represented. As far as a hardcore number, we didn't know. We don't know. And so actually that's anticipated to go out in October of this year. We're asking our teams to self-identify if they feel comfortable, just to get a solid number. Again, we know our processes are good. Again, with the amount of people that we get from different agencies, even from RWA, most recently out in just opened up a distribution center in Dartmouth. So we know that we are, as far as a percentage, I would not want to speak on it because we haven't asked the question, which is, again, something we found as a shortcoming, and that's this year's resolution.
Hello again, Chantelle is
Hello.
Parker here. Just wanted to let them know that your center in Ladner in Delta is actually on a bus route. They were deliberate about that. So it's easily accessible by transport, public transit, just so you know.
And that goes for all of our locations. Like, again, the beauty of being retail, we have to be accessible to customers, which conveniently means that we are accessible to all of our team members too. And they will, as far as shift, I know especially at Delta, they have a carpooling system, and they have, again, the bus. They work the shifts around the bus schedule. So, we're not asking for the impossible. We're not asking you to start at 7 and the bus comes at 7:15 or anything crazy like that. We really, 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 and not only that, we really want to, as part of our green initiative, to encourage people to take public transportation. It's better for the environment. And again, every single store we have where bus service is available, we're on a bus route, not by accident in a retail world.
Is Brick hiring at this time? Like during the pandemic?
Yeah, sorry. So as of 2 hours ago, the stores that had stuff posted were West Vancouver, Salmon Arm, Prince George, Pacific Reach, Coquitlam, Pitt Meadows, Delta, Kelowna, Victoria, Langford, and Langley. So again, we've given them, because the job fair is tomorrow, we've given everybody sort of the heads up that they have to have all their things posted by tonight. But again, if you're going to our website, know it is live updating. There's also an option on our application page that if you didn't see anything, but you really wanted to connect and just be part of our talent pool, you can submit your resume. And again, it's kept on file. Anytime we post something, we go to our talent pools of people who have forwarded their resumes, and we look there. Or again, there's always that opportunity to forward your information and any inquiries to careers@thebrick.com. And that'll get to, again, us 4 live human beings. And again, we will save things for when things come up. And then again, keep an eye on anything that's literally coming available live and as people post them. Again, so I guess we're really looking forward to, again, anybody who wants to meet and reach out. We've got 3 of us working the job fair tomorrow, all of us really eager to meet everybody with everybody's skills. Again, if you want to reach out to careers@thebrick.com, you're absolutely welcome to. Check out our website. Again, it's not perfect and it doesn't show everything, but I think it gives you a really good, that's our careers website. So careers.thebrick.com. It gives you, again, a good idea. We list on there 2 different national partnerships we have. RWA is not on there yet, so my apologies. But we're getting to some updates there too. Check us out online if you want to know what it's sort of like to work here. I know that on our Twitters, so @Brick Careers, and our LinkedIn, our Brick LinkedIn profile, we've posted some videos about what it's like to work in distribution, what it's like to work in customer service, merchandising, sales, and delivery. So there's little videos, so you'll have to scroll through. They're not pinned to the top, my apologies. But check those out, because those give they're only about a minute long, but just, again, a good idea of a visual of what the environment is like, and a little description of the type of people we're looking to work in those types of environments.